This was a somber school day in Elgin. Counselors were waiting as students returned to school after losing two classmates over the weekend. Sophomore Garrett Sumner and senior Ashley Farrell died when the truck they were traveling in went off the highway on Highway 290 just after midnight Saturday morning. DPS troopers say neither was wearing a seatbelt. Three other students in that truck survived. That spot is where friends have been leaving their memories, and they shared some of them with Chris Sadeghi.
After spending a weekend visiting the hospital, Elgin students returned to class and returned to the scene.
Everybody was crying. He was friends with everybody. Nobody wanted to see him go.
They may have been crying, but couldn't help but laugh when remembering Garrett's knack for baseball.
He was talking about how he was going to go to college for baseball and how all the colleges would want him because he was so good at it.
Or Ashley's eye for fashion.
She never went to school looking, I guess what you'd call it, ratchet. She made sure she was known. She was the life of the party.
Crosses now sit at the spot where Ashley and Garrett died, but just by looking at the pictures or reading some of the signatures, you start to get an idea of how they lived.
Played baseball with him all my life.
I've known him since he was a kid.
Classmates that were obviously missed in the hallways on Monday.
There was very little smiles.
But students were allowed to write them and their families letters with many of the same vows they left on the cross.
Our prayers are with his family and that we hope that they can overcome this, and we're with them.
In Elgin, Chris Sadeghi, KXAN News.
The Elgin baseball team canceled tomorrow night's game, and they say Garrett Sumner's number 4 jersey will be put in the trophy case to be remembered. TxDOT statistics show nearly 300 Texas teenagers died in traffic crashes last year. Nearly half of them were not wearing seatbelts. But a closer look at the statistics shows how seatbelts do protect people. Nearly 1.2 million Texans in 2013 were involved in traffic accidents. 80% of the people who wore seatbelts walked away from those wrecks without injuries. Less than 60% of those who did not wear seatbelts escaped without injury.